现在是时候。
The time is now.
The time is now.
The time is now.
The time is now.
Hello, I'm Harold Wright, principal of Dallas Skyline High School. It is my pleasure to welcome you to Skyline, whether you're sitting in the audience or you're just streaming it live. Skyline High School is the nation's first magnet school and the location of focus for almost 5,000 students and more than 400 staff members every day. Skyline's administrators, faculty, and staff work as a cohesive team, and we are proud of our award-winning students whose successes span both academic and athletic competitions. A big shout out to Skyline High School. The time is now. The theme for this year's convocation is quite fitting as we think about Destination 2020 and our roles in it. The time is now for us to prepare the future generation, to prepare our students for college and their careers. At this time, I would like to take a moment to introduce Dallas ISD trustees who have joined us for this celebration. Please give a round of applause for Dr. Lou Blackburn, First Vice President of District 5. And a round of applause for Elizabeth Jones, District 1. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand at this time for the presentation of the colors by the Superintendent's Honor Guard for Skyline High School, followed by the singing of our national anthem by Erica Stevens, a Dallas ISD teacher serving Truett Elementary School. In 2011, Ms. Stevens had the honor of performing to a national audience when she was chosen to sing God Bless America at the Rangers Ballpark in Arlington at the 4th game of the World Series.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
You may be seated.
Good morning. I'm Eric Cowan, President of the Dallas Board of Trustees. Welcome to the 2013 Convocation. On behalf of the Board of Trustees, it is my honor and pleasure to welcome you to the 2013-14 school year. Please know that the work each of you do on behalf of our students is appreciated by the Board. Our goal is to continue to move student achievement forward and prepare all Dallas ISD students for college and their careers. Thank you for your hard work and have a great school year.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dallas ISD's Superintendent of Schools, Mr. Mike Miles.
Testing. All right. Well, glad to be here today. I'm glad to see all of you here. The time is now. As I was going to be introduced, there was going to be some theme music, and it was from The Gladiator. My wife had suggested a different theme song, though, and that's from The Sound of Music, but I didn't think that was going to be appropriate and fitting for Dallas ISD, so I'd rather just say what one of my favorite things is, and that is the start of school. There is nothing like it. If you've never been in a school, when the kids come for the first day of school, you're in for a real treat. If you are a new teacher or a new staff member, would you please stand? Thank you. Thank you for joining this team. You're in for a real treat, especially if you're a new teacher. Having the kids on the first day and having your own classroom, there's nothing like it. Dallas ISD, there are so many people in this room and out in the internet. Welcome to you too. There's lots of people supporting you this year, including our community. We've had tremendous support. And just as one sign, we put a video together to show you that there's a lot of people behind you as you work to give our kids the best education possible. Please roll the video.
We are in a competitive world. We're in a competitive world here in Dallas. We're a competitive world here in Texas. We're a competitive world in the United States. If we want to be successful, ergo have more choices as people, have quality of life be higher, we're going to have to succeed in that competitive world. making sure that we have a workforce ready for companies that want to hire, I think, is critical.
Destination 2020 includes a different way of operating so that we prepare kids for the year 2020 or the year 2025 and beyond. We have to prepare them for a world that's going to be fundamentally different.
Destination 2020 is about ensuring that our students, that our community is college and workforce ready, that they can be positive contributors to our society. And when you begin with that, your work becomes less work and more of a mission.
Destination 2020 is the boost that we need. It's going to be uncomfortable because it's different, but it's needed.
Every minute counts, and I know that, great instruction is critical, and so, yes, I feel like, students' lives are on the line.
Children don't have the time for us to change along incrementally by inches. We have to make some fundamental transformative changes in order to prepare kids for the year 2020.
The principal and the teacher are key. The victory is in the classroom. And we have two goals. We have to improve student achievement, and we have to improve the quality of instruction in order to improve student achievement.
Accountability is what's going to be the difference between a good school district and other school districts.
We are looking at teacher evaluations tied to student achievement. We're looking at principal evaluation system that's tied to clear metrics around performance and student achievement results.
My role in Destination 2020 is absolutely critical because we are the front line. We are with the students every day, and so we really have to understand best instruction, best practices. We have to be knowledgeable.
We have to use data to determine what things are working well, what things are not, and then hold us accountable for becoming more effective, either in the classroom, in the school, or at the central office level. But we have to do some other things as well. We have to work in reinforcing ways. Resources are always going to be tough to come by. We don't have the all the resources we need to educate children, so we have to work with the community. That's also part of the Destination 2020 plan and the Imagine 2020 program.
Dallas Independent School District is educating 157,000 children, roughly, round numbers. And to think that we could simply say to our teachers, our school leaders, our superintendent, our board, you guys take care of it, is insane. There is no way that a project of this complexity happens without the support of its community.
There's a lot of programs being implemented, a lot of community activists, a lot of teachers wanting to do better, and eventually we will reap the benefits that we sow.
I think we're all a little bit afraid of change. That's just human nature, but change is good. Change offers opportunity to grow and to learn, and it kind of poses some new challenges for us. I don't think we should be afraid of change. I think we should embrace it.
Every adult in Dallas has an opportunity to partner and to share with their student in Dallas ISD. Every organization can choose a school that they can partner with. All of these things are important to have the well-rounded child that we look forward to.
Parents' responsibility is to make sure that my child was at school on time every day, make sure that they're doing their homework. In addition to that, make sure they're reading every single day.
I think kids do need encouragement, especially from their parents, letting them know that we're there to support them, we're there to guide them, we're there to help them, to be with them.
Thanks to the mission set forth by Dallas ISD and Destination 2020, excellence is not going to be a byproduct. Excellence is going to happen at this school and throughout Dallas ISD. And I think Superintendent Miles has made it very clear that we're only moving up, we're not going backwards.
When I grow up, I would like to become an entrepreneur. My education is important because I want to become a robotics engineer.
My parents encourage me to do my best, and I think I'm doing just that.
My parents know that school is important, and they help me to make sure I succeed.
All of my teachers make the learning fun and exciting.
Even though I'm in elementary school, I know I'm going to go to college.
Please give these students a round of applause for their wonderful performance in mathematics this year.
This year, I've learned who I am, and this school has really brought my personality out. They encourage you to go to college and do different stuff with your life and tell you that you can do it.
I'll probably just be graduating from law school.
in 2020. Since I was young, I've always wanted to become a lawyer. This may sound funny, but ever since reruns of The Cosby Show, I love the idea of a doctor and a lawyer.
More than anything, being first-generation Americans, I really want to lay a strong foundation for our family and our future generations. And I also want to be a role model. I want to show my brother and sister that if you work hard and you give everything in all you do, that you can make somebody out of yourself.
1, 2, 3.
The Dallas Independent School District is one of the most innovative districts in the country. We are working amazingly hard from top to bottom. We have parent support, we have community support, we have support of the superintendent and of the school board.
It's a great time to be in Dallas ISD because we're all committed to that goal of moving student achievement forward, and it has to happen now.
The time is now.
The time is now.
The time is now.
Ahora es el tiempo.
The time is now.
The time is now.
The time is now. The place is Dallas.
Yes, the time is now, and the work that we have going forward is the most important work of our time. Last year, we put this district through its paces. We know we challenged you. There were some changes, and I just want you to know, here in the audience and online, that the teachers and staff stepped up and did a great job. And they did a great job for our kids, and the proof is in the pudding. A lot of the work built on years past, I realize that, but I want you to know that the evidence is there that you, teachers, staff, principals, administrators, school board, did a great job for our kids with the support of our community members. And let me just give you some of the statistics around that. The first is an accountability rating. Dallas ISD met all 4 strict accountability ratings at the state level and had 85% of its school meet the standards for accountability. Is that good or is that bad? Well, we put this slide together to show you that, you know what, not bad when you compare us to other large urban districts. Sure, we have more work to do. There's no question about that. But on the first accountability rating from last year to this year, or from 2 years ago to last year, the district did well. We had a number of schools that increased achievement. Our students met or exceeded the growth rate on their peer statewide, on most of the STAR exams. We narrowed the minority achievement gap, not by a lot, but we did narrow it. That compared to when you look at the state's achievement gap, especially for African Americans, that achievement gap grew in the state. In the district, it narrowed. 55% of our schools had at least one area of distinction. Yeah, that's worthy of applause. 55% of our schools, out of our 224 schools, had at least one area of distinction on the state accountability. 41 schools met distinguished category in all 3 areas. Let me put the names of those schools up 8 at a time or so. You can applaud these schools too. Because they're applauding out online, I can hear them. This group. How about this group? And one more group. It was a real challenge to become a school of distinction in all 3 areas, because not only did you have to hit a high bar for academic performance, you also had to show progress, you had to close a minority achievement gap in your school, and if you're a high school, you had to have a college-ready rate that's one of the highest in your peer group. And that's what it meant to get all 3 of the distinctions. And then we also ran numbers because it's not just about hitting a bar. It's about how much we grow. And so you know the district has had a standard called SEI and CEI. And it's the effectiveness, school effectiveness index and classroom effectiveness index. And so we took the effectiveness index for each school in each division, and we just took the top 10. I know that's kind of arbitrary, but out of the 45 schools or so in a division, we took the top 10 for growth, because growth of kids is really important. And so these are the schools in each division that received that distinction. That's Division 1. This is Division 2. Division 3. Division 4. And finally, Division 5. We know that a lot of our students start behind when they get to you, teacher. We know that. And we know that if they're 2 or 3 years behind, that it's important to grow them. They may not be proficient at their grade level when they start 2 or 3 years behind, but if you move them a year and a half or even 2 years and 1 year's time, that's worthy of our praise and worthy of what it is to be a Dallas ISD teacher. And then there were several other points of accomplishments we can point to. We had the largest number of spring graduates since 1982 last year. That's what you did. We'll see what the graduation rate that's just coming in, because we had graduates over the summer, but it's going to be higher than ever. We also had a high fund balance, $275 million in the fund balance, and what that means is that we now are able to place more money into programs, professional development, and other things for teachers. For example, we gave a raise for the first time in 3 years. We contributed to health care, first time in 6 years. And I know we can do more, and we're going to do more, but at least that's a start and movement in the right direction for that. Those are just some of the accomplishments. I know there are other things, and again, it built on the good work of the teachers and staff from years before. If you've been here for at least a year, would you stand up and be recognized by your colleagues? That's almost everybody here. Go ahead, stand up. Thank you. And hopefully at your schools, those of you who are watching it online, you also had a chance to stand. In the end of the day, our students need us to continue the path of reform. So where are we headed? Let's just review that real quickly. What we're trying to do here. Our destination is college and career-ready students. More specifically, we want to be the urban district with the highest rate of college and career-ready students of any in the nation. And break that down to our specific goals. 90% of our students graduating on time. We think that's a goal that can be reached. 40% of our students attaining a 21 or higher on the ACT. That's equivalent to 990 on SAT. 75% of our students being proficient on a career-ready certificate. And 80% of our students ready to enter college, the military, or a career-ready job straight from high school. Now, those are just numbers in a lot of ways, and let's not forget what really we're trying to do besides the number. It's not the number we're after, really. It's about our kids graduating. You got to have a picture of success. These numbers and goals paint some picture of success, but really we think you need to see what we're really after, and that is our college graduates 4 years from now and well into the future. This is a college graduating class of 2018 and on. Wow. 2030? I tell you, when you see it like that, it puts all those numbers in specific relief. That's what we're trying to do, guys. That's why we have to have a sense of urgency. We may have time. Time is running out for some of these students. 2018 is just around the corner. That's a college graduating time frame. The year 2020 is just around the corner, and we're graduating, or we're working on kids whose graduation date is 2030. Anyway, hopefully every single one of those kids, because of your help, is going to be a college graduate or be career ready. Now, how do we get there? It's easy to paint a picture about where we're headed. We have to be insistent and purposeful about how we get there. So let me review again, just quickly, what the path is. Number one, we're going to stay the course. We had good results from last year. We're focused. We're not going to shift back and forth between different programs or initiatives. We're moving forward. And what does that mean? We're going to focus on instruction. That is a key. Most researchers know that. We need that relentless focus on instruction. We need you to continue to become experts at your craft, because teaching quality trumps almost everything else. That focus on instruction is what's going to make the difference for a lot of our kids. Second, we're going to build a culture of feedback. We started it this last year with spot observations and good classroom feedback from your principals and assistant principals and instructional coaches. We're just going to get better at that. We're going to recruit and retain effective teachers. Thanks for coming back this year, teachers. We need you in the classroom. We need to recruit other teachers as well. Not this guy. But these sorts of people is what we're talking about. Okay, if you look like Nick Nolte, don't take offense, all right? We're going to continue to develop principals. I know we spent a lot of time and energy and attention on that, and we're going to continue that. Our principals are some of the hardest working people around. And they've been well coached. Thank you. Yes, they are. And we're going to continue to invest in them and in their training. We know that principals are the key to reform. We're going to continue to monitor for continuous improvement. We can't wait for these summer results to come in. We have to look at our results and our progress monitoring all along the way. We have to do the mid-year reviews and systems review so that we can use that data to help our kids get the best instruction they need. And then we haven't forgotten that we at Central Office need to continue to work well and be supportive of the schools. Last year we started this where the focus of attention is the principals and the schools and the classroom. We get it. There's not one kid being taught at Ross Avenue. Not one student is being taught there. The victory, as Tim High said in the video clip, is in the classroom. We have to arrange the whole system now to support you in the classrooms and you in the buildings. And then finally, we have to engage parents in the community. I've said it before, we know that we have to have a collective impact. Even if we got everything right in the classroom, the curriculum, the resources, the quality of instruction, the right leadership, we still know that kids go to homes sometimes that are challenging. They come from environments that may be challenging or challenged by poverty. We need the community to work with us if we're going to educate a child well. It really does take a village. Somebody has, Village Fair has, it takes a village on their shirts. And that's the right message. That's the right message. It takes a village to educate kids, and we know that, and we've had a lot of community support. We need to grow that support. That's the plan. That's the Destination 2020 plan in short. Now, we know we have a lot more to do, guys. We got the string of students. And when you see dates like 2020, 2025, 2030, I hope you have a sense of urgency. And if you don't, these next sets of slides will probably give you that sense of urgency because the landscape is changing quickly. These slides come from Carl Fisher. So when you watch videos like that, you know that we have to work with a sense of urgency. We don't have to change a lot of things. We have to get the instruction right. We have to stay the course. But there are some things that need to change. There are some things that we have to get ahead of if we're going to educate kids for a different world. Now, when you see all of that, you might think, well, that's way too many things, and there's going to be too many initiatives, and there may be an analysis paralysis. Sometimes you just have to make it happen. But we'll keep it simple, and we'll make a few things happen. We have to develop career-ready certificates. It's not just about math, English, science, and social studies, as important as those are. It's also about different skill sets for a different age. Communications, economics, information literacy, being able to use multiple devices. Those are in technology, different technology platforms. Those are all important skills for our kids. So we have to look at career-ready certificates, and it's also about jobs that will exist still in 2030 and 2020, being an electrician, being a plumber, operating heavy equipment. Those are still jobs that we need to get our kids ready for. Second, we know that with all the different things that are coming, we have to expand school choices for our kids and our communities and our parents so that kids get the education that they want and they need. We're talking about public schools. We're not talking about charter schools or private schools. We're talking about Dallas ISD's schools expanding their choice. And then we have to find different ways to expand technology and the use of technology, but also technology in the classroom. You probably didn't know, or maybe knew, that we had the largest fiber network project in the United States in Dallas ISD last year. And that is why we're able to stream it to all the schools out there. But those are the things, those are some of the things that we have coming down the road to get our kids ready for the year 2020. Now, I've been at this a little while. And I know that there are some things that are instructional. I think there are programs, there's technology changes, but there are some constants. And I just want to talk, to end our presentation, talking about 3 things that won't change. 3 things that won't change but are just as important and are things we need every year from now until the year 2030 and beyond. Number 1, we need to believe in our kids. We need to have high expectations for them because they can. If you watch the kids in the video, you watch the kids walk down the stage, you know that they can if we help. That belief, nothing can replace that. No program, no training session, no workshop. We have to have high expectations for our kids and for ourselves. Here to tell you a story about high expectations, overcoming the odds with your help, is Anthony Gallo.
Good morning. I am honored to be with you and even more honored to represent the students of the Dallas Independent School District. My name is Anthony Gatto and I graduated last year from Hillcrest High School. Before I begin, I would like to give a shout out to all of the staff at the various schools I attended throughout my career here in Dallas ISD. It starts with Dandy Rogers Elementary, McShann Elementary, and Hexter Elementary, Benjamin Franklin Middle School, and last but certainly not least, to everyone at Hillcrest High School. I would also like to give a special recognition to Park City's Rotary Club, who did a lot for me, the AVID program, and Mr. Jones, who's been my principal not only throughout high school, but middle school also. 7 years, right? And I will never forget, Mr. Jones, I won't make issues for myself that I don't have to have. I've said this before, public speaking was never really on my agenda. It's always been something that I was terrified of doing. But it became a regular thing last year during my senior year at Hillcrest. And now here I am, speaking to all the teachers and staff who not only inspired me, but also dared me to dream. And so one of those dreams is to one day fill up the entire AT&T Stadium, the home of the Cowboys, and speak to about 80,000 people about what we're not sure, but we'll get there. We'll find that out someday. Today, I want to tell you a story about my life and how I got here. It might be the story of students in your classrooms this year. My mother is from Honduras and my father is from Mexico. They both came here to the United States seeking a better life. My brother and I were born in Los Angeles. Our life in California wasn't the best. We lived with relatives because we couldn't afford to live on our own. And as the years passed, my father became more violent toward my mother and us. He would pick fights with my mom. He had a drug and alcohol addiction and was in and out of jail for years. I remember when either my older brother or I tried to stop his rage against our mother, he would also hit us. But my mom was afraid to turn him in for domestic violence because she was afraid that she might be deported and lose us. My mom, brother, and I escaped that life by moving here to Dallas. But Texas wasn't a ray of sunshine either. We lived in a one-bedroom apartment with my aunt and her family. My mom, brother, and I slept in a small area in the living room. I remember my mom leaving the apartment every night to get to the American Airlines Center where she worked as a custodian. Every day she would come back from work early in the morning to help my brother and me get ready for the school day. My mother made my brother and I her first and only priority. After her second marriage ended, my mother couldn't get a job, we were barely getting by. My teachers were asking me to do research papers for homework, but we were struggling to keep the electricity on. With no internet, no way of getting to a library, and everything else in our lives falling apart, it was difficult to focus on my academics. I started working a part-time job my sophomore year to take some of the financial burden off my mother. I thought working more hours was a way out of poverty, but it was only a short-term solution. I obviously wasn't putting my education first. But thanks to the people in my school, I began to see that what I truly wanted, my real goal in life, was a long-term solution to end the cycle of poverty and kick off success not only for myself, but for my children and their children and the generations to follow. It wasn't one teacher, one administrator, or one counselor who helped me understand that education was my only way out. It was my avid teacher who helped me realize there was hope in my future. It was that counselor who shared her background with us and gave us the advice I was seeking. It was the emotional story of a teacher who fought cancer but still went to work every single day to share her knowledge, who inspired me. It was a man who swept the floors and cleaned the tables, who told me to never give up. It was an ASP advisor who made me believe that the opportunities are endless. It was everyone with whom I had crossed paths. Dallas ISD, you gave me something that is priceless. When there was despair, you gave me hope. When there was doubt, you gave me faith. When there is darkness, you gave me light. And I can't thank you enough. I am here to tell you, and you all know this, that all students have potential. But sometimes it takes just one person to light the spark. From the one cleaning the restrooms and sweeping the floors to the one who is responsible for all 158,000 students, each of you has a power to make a difference in our lives. And that is the truth. And I am the proof. Dallas ISD, with your help and the resources you have provided me, I was able to become the senior class president at Hillcrest High School and also the president to a community service club, Interact Club, that taught me leadership skills that I never thought I could master, and be the first in my family to attend a 4-year university. In 1 week, I will begin working on my degree in political science at Texas State in San Marcos. That's right. Go Bobcats. After that, I plan to attend law school and then come back and make a difference in our community just as you did with me. I want to leave here today with my thanks and with the knowledge that every one of you makes a difference. When you start the new school year in a few days, remember that as students, our time is now. We don't get a next time, and we need you to succeed. Thank you and best wishes on a successful school year.
Thank you, Anthony. That's proof in the pudding right there, why beliefs matter, why having high expectations and a belief in our students really make the difference. So thank you for your testimony. Before I'm remiss, I see Trustee Carla Ranger is here. So could you recognize Trustee Carla Ranger? Thank you for being here. Said there were three things. The first one is belief, expectations. The second one is leadership. And I don't mean the leadership of your principal or the district. I'm talking about your leadership, because it's in every one of us to be a leader. And that leadership matters. If leadership is about influencing folks, bringing out the best hopes versus the worst fears of people, then all of us are leaders. And all of us influence and impact the people around us. And in every interaction, you will either grow the best hopes of people or you will bring out their worst fears. And I hope that in a changed environment, as we move forward for the sake of our kids, that all of us exercise leadership. That's the second thing, and it's related very closely to the third thing. And that is a culture of teamwork. A culture where we rely on each other. Teaching, being in education, being a principal can all be a lonely profession. You spend a lot of time in your room alone or with students, but not with your colleagues. If you're a principal, there's late nights, and teaching also late nights, sometimes alone in your own room. It can be a lonely profession, but it doesn't have to be. It is not an individual sport. And maybe some of your kids are behind, and maybe some of your schools are behind. And maybe as a district we're behind in many statistics compared to some of the other districts around that may not have the challenges we have. But if we work together, we don't treat this like an individual sport, but as a team sport, where our culture is around helping each other, then we can move forward. And our kids will be the beneficiaries and can win their individual races.